It looks like Donald Trump has just killed the Fed's digital dollar, or CBDC, whilst quietly leaning into Bitcoin and crypto amid the price boom. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good evening everybody, and a warm welcome as always back to Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenyon. And this is the channel where every single day I keep you updated and fully informed on all the goings on in the cryptoverse. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then like, subscribe and click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates. Now today we're going to be talking about Donald Trump, CBDCs and the price of Bitcoin and crypto in general. As always guys, I've found this article in Forbes, so let's quickly read through it, see what we can learn, and then we'll comment after. So former US President and 2024 Republican frontrunner Donald Trump has said he would block the creation of a US central bank digital currency, sometimes called the digital dollar, if he retakes the White House this year. The controversial digital dollar, inspired by Bitcoin and thrust into the spotlight by Facebook's failed digital currency project and China's own digital yuan in recent years, has become a culture war flashpoint, with some fearing it will hand governments unprecedented control over how people spend their money. Meanwhile, as Elon Musk quietly prepares a crypto bombshell, Trump has expanded his crypto-based NFTs, digital trading card, collection to the Bitcoin network, fueling speculation he could revert his opposition to the technology as the Bitcoin price soars. Tonight, I am also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny, Trump said during a campaign speech in New Hampshire. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a CBDC, and the US Federal Reserve has, along with other central banks and governments around the world, been investigating issuing a CBDC, but has repeatedly said it wouldn't create one without authorization from Congress. A digital dollar would give a federal government, or our federal government, absolute control over your money, Trump said. They could take your money. You wouldn't even know it's gone. This would be a dangerous threat to freedom, and I will stop it from coming to America. Vivek Ramaswamy, who had been challenging Trump for the Republican nomination before dropping out and endorsing Trump this week, claimed on Fox News to have spoken to Trump about the dangers he sees from a digital dollar, suggesting the former candidate could steer Trump towards a crypto-friendly position. Now, the article does go on just to basically say that Trump is not a big fan of crypto or Bitcoin in particular, based on comments that he said previously, in the past. But he's right on this. And, oh, by the way, if you want to look up this article, then just look in the description box. I put the links in there so you can, keep reading on if you want to read the whole article. But yeah, he's right on this. And one thing I always like about Trump, some people love him, some people hate him, some Republicans love him and some Republicans hate him, but he's really into this sort of idea of a small government, and I like that. He doesn't want the government, he thinks the government shouldn't get too big, whereas I know that the Democrats, they believe in a sort of a big government, and that the government should look after almost everything. And in crypto, we believe in self-sovereignty and, sort of independence and looking after yourself and not leaning on the government for anything. And if you ever give a government too much power anyway, they'll just naturally want more. They always seem to want more. And obviously a government that takes more and more power, they're taking it from somewhere, and that somewhere is you. You're losing your freedoms and your rights whilst ever the government's taking more control and power over you. And so a CBDC is just kind of an extension of control for any government, and we lose out at that. A lot of people will argue that, well, it's more convenient, and you would be right. They will make this extremely convenient. They'll make it very, very easy to pay for things. It will be fast. It will be very centralized, which means it will be fast, and you'll be sold this whole idea by the government of whichever nation you reside in as being something fantastic, something modern, something futuristic, and that'll make everybody's lives easier. But it will not make anybody's life easier as much as it will for the government and certainly for law enforcement. You know, this is basically them blanket surveilling everybody. They'll be able to look at every single thing that you do. And what's worse, if you're doing something that the government doesn't like you doing, and I'm not talking about breaking the law, I'm just talking about they want to, you know, incentivize you to behave in a particular way. They can do that with this. They can give you, I've said this in previous videos, but they can give you, say, young people a particular interest rate on loans and give older people, you know, a less attractive interest rate, or vice versa. Or people in geographical areas, you know, they might give people in the north of England a better interest. South of England, they might start giving them a worse interest rate. It's like that. It's that kind of control that they get, and you really will have no say in any of it. There will be no competition. I mean, as awful as the banks are now, at least there's some. It's very poor, but at least there's some competition between the banks. It's not great, but there is at least some kind of weak fight over your custom. Whereas when the government's in charge with the CBDC, there is no competition anymore. It's finished that. You know, you'll just do what they say. And if you don't do what they say, they can cut you off. And they will cut you off. If they decide that petrol and diesel cars are not good for the environment, or they decide that they don't want people to use them anymore, your card will just not work, or your payment app on your phone that you're using with the CBDC just won't buy petrol. If you've bought so much petrol this week, you know, you bought £50 or $50 worth of petrol this week, or gasoline, and that's the quota that you're allowed for a particular individual that resides in that country, you won't be able to go over that. So you won't be able to go on holiday that weekend with your kids, or next weekend if you've used up your quota. You know, it's going to be like that. Your cards will not work. And it'll be the same for, say, cigarettes. They might decide that you can only smoke so many cigarettes a month because you're a burden on the health system. And so because of that, they're going to limit to how many cigarettes you can buy. And once you've reached that limit, that will be it. Your card just will not work after that. So it's really a lot of control that we're handing over to them by doing this. And we need to resist it, you know, in my opinion anyway. And so it's really refreshing to hear somebody sort of anti-establishment as Donald Trump. I'm not for him and I'm not against him. I'm just saying that this whole idea that he's come up with, you know, resisting or killing this idea of a CBDC is great. And it's not only good for Americans, because it might be followed then by other countries like the UK and like Europe. I don't see Europe backing down on this, but you never know. You know, it's a step in the right direction at least, and it brings the conversation, do we actually need this CBDC? Which is what Europe and the UK kind of pushing, as if it's some kind of, you know, amazing thing that we all need, when really it's just there to make the government's life easier. So this is more good news for crypto, more good news for this sort of anti-CBDC folk like me. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notifications bell, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Take care.